And we're live. All right, Cassie's closing the door. We're getting prepped for the 8% virtual conference. Is coming up tomorrow, March 5th and 6th. All right, I want to encourage you to get on the train. All right, to join this event. I'm in my new office. Okay, we even got a brand new goal in the back. Maybe we'll shoot some hoops together. Okay, all I know is I want you. I need you. And you need to be at this event as well, okay? I'm going to keep pushing this thing because 8% virtual is coming to you to help you succeed and to be better, right? End of story. Okay, so I want you to think about what you want to get out of this event, right? Because here's one thing I've learned. I've learned that it's up to the learner to get the information, right? You have to decide what you're going to get out of the virtual conference before you're going to get something out of it. Okay, that's what I know. Okay, is when I go to an event, when I go to a conference, when I show up, when I do this, that, or the other thing, I go there with a focus on what I'm going to be learning before I actually start to learn it. Okay, so welcome. We're going to talk about 8% virtual, what you can expect from all these amazing speakers. Okay, and what I do know is I want you to answer the question, what are you hoping, all right, and provide it in chat, in comments for me as we're live on YouTube and Facebook. What are you hoping to get out of the next 2 days, right? Like, what are you struggling with? What do you need to see? What do you hope to learn? What do you want to make sure that you leave with so that it continues in your business to where you have the biggest year you've ever had, okay? Because you made the decision now. Okay, you made the decision now. Okay, so I'm going to shoot from here. Okay, if I make it, all right, if I make it, you have to attend. You have to register, and you have to register someone else. Okay, are we in agreement? Okay, those that are on, as we're live, okay, as I shoot a hoop, if I make it, either way you have to register. If I make it, you have to register somebody else. Okay, you have to register someone else. Oh, you got to register somebody else. Okay, so you got to go invite someone. All right. Come on, Daniel. I hit it, bro. I hit it. Okay, so you got to go invite someone else to this event. I'm continuing to show up and promote, right? When you want something in life bad enough, you have to show up and promote. Like for you selling insurance in your local office, okay, you have to show up and promote. There's a lot of us that we struggle to show up and promote, right? Like we struggle to show up and promote. Typically because we don't believe in what we are selling, right? Which is a big problem, by the way. Like you need to believe in what you sell. So the question is, okay, Stephen, thank you, sir, Mr. Stephen Schmidt. There we go. Okay, go to 8percentvirtual.com to register. 8percentvirtual.com to register. Okay, is what do you want to get out of this thing? And how do we make sure that you succeed? Okay, what do you want to get out of it, and how do we make sure that you succeed? All right, so make sure you go to 8percentvirtual.com. All right, so that actually does go to several platforms at once. We're using StreamYard, and I'm learning it. Okay, I've got three different monitors in here, and I'm trying to figure out how I can use all three of these. I turned all these around so that I could hang out with you guys for a few minutes. Okay, so I turned them around and went the other direction. Normally, I'm facing backwards, all right, towards the wall with a couple of canvases. Okay, today, I'm going to spend some time with you, Mr. Matt. Come on now. Come on, Matt. Valeria, Charmaine, Steven. Dude, it's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be pumped, right? We got Brian Tracy. We got Les Brown. Like, we had a lot of big time names. Okay, we got some massive names to make sure that big time names. It goes down as the biggest, best event you've ever seen. Okay, shared my whole company about the conference, Matt. Thank you, sir. Okay, we're pushing for 10,000 registrations. I don't think I've ever pushed for anything this hard in my entire life. Okay, also some of the speakers are going to be popping in tonight and saying hello to you, answering some of your questions, spending some time with you, and helping you make sure that you also take that next level in your life as well. Okay, so looking forward to seeing Les Brown. Matt says, dude, huge lineup. And Les Brown saved my life. Les Brown is a freak, man. Like, you know what Les Brown's going to do? Les Brown is going to deliver. Les Brown is going to deliver the knockout punch. Les Brown is going to deliver the knockout punch at the event. Okay, Valeria is excited for July. I'm excited for July. Okay, if you know what, you guys need to be hanging out with me today, right? These last few days, have I not had some fun in my office, or have I not had some freaking fun? Okay, our custom CA boxing gloves. All right, like you got to enjoy what you do, right? I love what I do. We got a fun office. We got a fun culture. We've got multiple buildings. Like, we are committed to helping people succeed in a lot of different ways, by the way. Okay. Oh, there's a brick. There's a brick. There's a miss. Okay. There's a miss. All right. What are you guys most excited about as you're jumping in on YouTube, Facebook? What are you most excited about for these next several days? Okay. I'm waiting on some answers and some comments on what you're excited about. Here's what I'm most excited about. Okay. I'm excited that when I get around big time people, everything starts to change for me, right? The whole game starts to get better and starts to change. When I show up, I expect to get results. When I go dunk on Joe Campert, okay, everything starts to get better because I showed up and committed to winning, right? So the question is, are you committed to winning? Okay, Les and Roger Short. Matt, Roger Short's a freak, man. He's unbelievable. He's phenomenal. Okay, he's really, really, really good. Hang on with me tonight. I may be giving away some money. Okay, I may be giving away some tickets to the 8% Live in Dallas because I know what we are doing is going to help a lot of people. Okay, and also this event, 8percentvirtual.com, 8percentvirtual.com, 8percentvirtual.com. You can see it on the ticker at the bottom. Is totally free, by the way. Okay, is totally free. You have to make sure that you show up and get in the game. All right. I'm gonna keep showing up in your life, whether you like it or not. Okay. Some of you are like, dude, I don't want you to show up anymore. I'm showing up. Okay. I'm committed. I'm in. Whether you like it or not, I'm gonna be in your life for the rest of your life. Okay. That's I committed to it. So I'm doing it. Okay. I'm doing it. All right. What we got going on? Will says, so true. Words from Timon that became true at Gurus. Get around people doing big things. Dude, that's it, man. That's what it's all about. Okay. You have to do big things. You have to commit to winning. You have to commit to making sure that you get in the game. All right. Steven says, where's 6'9"? Dude, Landon comes over here. I'm going to dunk on him. Okay. Guaranteed. All right. Matt says, you're awesome, Cody. Thanks for everything. You know, I just enjoy helping people. I learned a long time ago. Okay. It is back when I was a new agent. I had a manager ask me like, hey, can you go drive 4 to 5 hours to help a couple of new agents? They're struggling, Cody. They're not making any money. They don't know what to do. Can you help them? Right. I decided to go help them. I drove 4 to 5 hours away to go help them. I showed up to help them because I thought, you know what, if someone's asking me to help them, maybe I should be helping them. And what I learned is I had a passion for helping people, right? I had a passion for seeing people win. I had a passion for helping people be successful. And I went and helped these 2 new insurance agents that were struggling. They weren't making any money. I drove up to Northern Missouri to help them. We made like 4 or 5 sales in one day. And I cold door knocking. We sold life insurance together. I made them like 4 or 5 sales, and then I drove home and came home. And I learned in that moment that I was meant to help people. I got more satisfaction out of helping them than anything else in my life, right? Because I showed up. Okay, Nate Hashik, I showed up and I committed to helping someone else, right? I want to challenge you to help other people in 2021. When I made those 5 sales and I came home, I realized that 4 to 5 hours, those are rookie numbers. Got to pump those up from the truck driver. Yeah, dude, for real. 4 to 5 hours is a long, I don't like driving, man. That's a long drive for me. But it's nothing to a truck driver, Daniel. You're right, bro. Come on. I learned that I was meant to help agents succeed. I was meant to train agents. That story taught me a lot. And so when I get a chance to help agents, fast forward five years later, we start the YouTube channel, which has over 31,000 agents subscribed now, because we want to see people win. So we're committed to making sure that we do our part to help insurance agents win. So there's the reason why you guys see me pushing so hard to put on a free event. Like, people can say whatever they want. I'm bringing some of the biggest names in the world to you, to your home, for free. Like, I'm taking all excuses away. Well, the speaker lineup's not good enough. It's definitely good enough. Okay. Brian Tracy, Les Brown, Tom Hegna. Starts tomorrow at 9 a.m. by the way, the pre-show does. Okay. Well, I don't want to travel. It's virtual, right? I don't have the money. It's free, right? Like, what else? What other excuse could you actually give me? I don't believe there is another excuse. I don't believe there is another excuse that you could actually give me that would validate anything else. Okay, because I know that my heart's in the right place. And dude, why don't we bring Jeff and Matt up at the same freaking time, man? How about that? Okay, Jeff and Matt.
Yes.
Hey, what's my buddy Jeff Root there?
What's up, fellas?
What's up, man?
Oh, Jeff just got out of that ice storm. Hey, I got a question for you there, Cody. If you can turn around and sink that 3-pointer right now, I'm going to send Jeff a $100 bill.
What?
Oh, I knew he'd miss it. That's why I made that bet.
He knows I would have made him back with dinner.
Dude, thank you guys for jumping on, man. And Jeff, I'm excited to be at your event here really soon, the Digital Life Insurance Agent Mastermind, by the way. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. I'm pumped for tomorrow. Getting this 8% virtual thing. I'm talking about actionable ways to grow your life insurance business, make it more profitable, and cash flow better. Just 5 actionable ways that we teach our agents, at least.
Oh.
So just giving it all that we teach everything inside our agency.
Who doesn't want that, right? As you guys are doing on Facebook and YouTube, who doesn't want actionable tips and steps to help them make money? Okay, when I think about selling insurance in a large capacity, you are 2 of the dudes that I think about the most, by the way. Right? I just do. Right? Matt, freaking crazy numbers. Jeff, doing crazy things. Jeff was the first insurance podcast I ever started listening to. Right? Matt was the first file expense guy I ever started following. Like, you guys have meant a lot to me over the years, and I know you're going to mean a lot to others as we kick it off in the morning.
Yeah, I saw the star-studded lineup you have. I'm just lucky to be on that cast that you put together.
I don't know, man. So Jeff shared what he was going to be sharing. What's Mr. Munguia going to be sharing this weekend?
I'm going over how to keep fighting no matter what, when all the chips may seem like they're down. How to never give up, how to keep fighting, and how to weather the storm. You know, just like me and Jeff found a way to weather this ice storm that we had a couple of weeks ago, and we come out much smarter and better at the end. Although it sucked during that time frame, but you learn things along the way, and you get stronger and smarter and better from it. So I think that's going to be my message.
If the 2 of you got in the ring, who would win?
I think, well, last time I saw him on crutches.
He has a lot of ring.
If he's on crutches, I win.
That's right. The last time we were together, Cody, we were on stage on the same panel at 8% Nation there in Tennessee Titan land where the Titans play. And actually it would have made it easier for me to win. Jeff's not thinking about it. I have even more reach hitting him with a crutch. But, no, I'd have to give it to Jeff.
I love it, man. I love it. Oh, actually, you know what, Miss Galen, why we might as well bring you up here too. I see you down there. Now we got all 4 of us hanging out.
Hey, how are you guys?
You know Jeff and Matt?
I don't know. I think I know Jeff, right?
Yep.
So, yeah. So how are y'all?
We are good.
Good. Just get people pumped up for this thing tomorrow. Just
Yeah.
just so pumped with how many, like, who you got to do this, Cody. Like,
Thank you.
how do you work this magic, man?
Dude, you got to constantly be in promotion mode,
Yeah.
You got to get a crazy lineup, and you got to just keep fighting, keep pushing, as Matt's going to talk about this weekend. Miss Galen, they shared what they're going to be speaking on. What can the attendees get to learn from Miss Galen Hendricks?
I think we're going to learn that we got to keep our attitudes right. We've got to keep out in front of our clients. We've got to make sure we're calling them. Got to make sure we're talking to them. But I think more than anything, to make sure that we're just feeling good. I think a lot of us had a little bit of COVID, not really the COVID, but the COVID, being shut indoors and not being able to go do what we want to do. And I think people got tired of that. Here in Texas, the mask ban got lifted and we're 100% open next Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I'm starting succession talk. I'm thinking that's probably going to be the next subject going around. I know too politically incorrect right there, but I'm looking forward to the virtual this week. And I'm really excited about what's coming down the pike. I think after last week, Cody, I can't believe you look as good as you did on Tuesday. I mean, because you had to have been tired. But it was a ton of fun last weekend, and we're going to have some of that same group this weekend. And I think just keeping people energized.
That's right. I have a question for the three of you, because you are three absolute titans in the industry. Okay, it's amazing. We got all three of you out with me. I don't know what I did right to deserve that, but here we go. Okay, here's one question I had that I want to have each of you answer. If you had to say a new agent needs to get really good at X, what would X be? Jeff, kick us off.
Your presentation. That's the one thing that separates everybody in our business, is understanding and feeling comfortable in your presentation, really nailing it every single time, making it the same every single time. You can preach activity and all that, but without a good presentation, to me, you're just going to burn out.
Oh, I love it. Good answer, man. Matt, what do you got, sir?
I would say getting in front of people is priceless. So for me, one thing, of course, like Jeff said, there's many things. We all know that. You have to be excellent at something, you have to be good at all the little things along the way. But, getting in front of people, so whether that's buying leads, the right leads, or, your phone script or your door knock script, you got to get in front of people to offer your product, no matter what product you're selling.
That's right. That's good too. Miss Galen, what do you think? You've got
I like that tee up, because they took two of the ones I would have said, but it's always back to don't fail to plan. Have a plan, because if you don't, you're planning to fail. And I think what these two guys said was spot on. That's part of the plan. And if you've got that down, you will go nowhere but success, because focus is the driver. Focus.
Yeah. You guys all do and show up and put on and speak and train at a lot of events throughout the years. I've seen that, right? Jeff has the Digital Life Insurance Agent Mastermind. Matt, I've seen you guys do a lot of training, tour events. Galen speaks at every event on the planet. Why, and we'll start with Galen's time and go in reverse order. Why have events like 8% Virtual had such an impact on you and your life and your career?
Well, one, it motivates me. I don't think motivators can motivate unless they're motivated. And I read a lot of books. I brought them to the conference last week. 8% Nation. I'm going to bring some. I love reading other success stories, and I think that is what motivates me. And when I'm around that energy in that room, it makes me want to go do better than I did before I arrived, because there's always somebody we can learn from. So that's why me.
I love that. What do you think, Matt?
I think these events are always fun and important, because The insurance industry can be a very lonely job sometimes. And sometimes it feels like you are the only one out there. And, especially when you're struggling, you have a bad day or a bad couple of days. It's like, man, am I the only knucklehead out here? I have no one to be here to lift my spirits up. So I think sometimes knowing, getting it together with these events and meeting new people and putting faces to voices to names and chatting at dinners and talking about strategies that work over dinners and breakfasts and then learning from some great speakers, not just great speakers, but great agents and agency partners and agency owners and whatever, and just learning a little bit from each one of them, I think is what's so great about, having these events. And then, the people that you work with, just getting around them and letting them know that they're not all alone out there.
Boom. That's good. How about for you, Jeff?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's just getting with other people in the trenches, doing the things you're doing and having those conversations every single day. Even on the phone, I pick up stuff, but when you're in person and, face to face with somebody, having a conversation, looking them in their eye, you've gone through the same struggles, going through the same things, probably have some of the same challenges, and kind of working through those through conversation. I mean, that's where you get some really, really good insights, because something could be working well for you. Like, hey, this is how I've been doing it for a while. It works great. And I'll pick up something extra to add on to it, every day learning, and especially at events. I mean, it's, you really remember how you feel at these events, having these conversations. And I never forget those moments. Even, we can have this moment right here, all four of us talking, but when we get in person, like, I'll always remember, what we talked about. And for me, that's what it's all about. So
that's huge. I love it.
I've been saying Zoom's not the room. I love the room. And I know they're taking Dr. Seuss away, but, I've been known as the Dr. Seuss of the insurance industry. Zoom's not the room. I mean, it's cool to see all you guys on Zoom, and that's been great during COVID. And I mean, my gosh, what a lifesaver. But it's not the room. It's not the energy, like you guys said.
It's not. You're right. It's not the same. It's that energy is infectious, man. It's contagious. It's it's crazy how much it helps for those that are down and out. Matt, Evangelista, I believe, something like that on YouTube, had a question for you guys. And also for those watching, this is the best time to ask questions, right? You have 3 individuals that have dominated multiple different product lines in the insurance industry. They're all making significant incomes. They maybe weren't as successful, good looking, wealthy, or intelligent as they are today. Okay. So along the way, maybe they had some bumps in the road. So Matt says, all right, so make sure you guys are asking some questions, throwing them in. Matt says, hey, Cody, could you ask the speakers if they could only ask one question in a life insurance sit, what would it be? Who wants to go?
Jeff said he'll go.
What's come up that's prompted you to want to buy life insurance? If you're working internet leads, what's come up in your life that made you fill out that form? That's a good, an initial call that anybody can use that's working internet leads.
I love that.
It all depends on the lead. I know there's direct mail and everything else, but that's a good opener for you term life insurance agents out there to get to the why.
Yeah,
that's great. I would probably say, great decision to have me here today. Who are you wanting to protect with this life insurance? Who's that important person that's going to get the benefit of your good decision today?
That's right. Good.
No need for me to speak. I mean, they stole everything I was about to say.
I don't know. You sold $505K in final expense in 1 year. Surely.
No, I think both of them are spot on. I mean, because I use both of those tactics when I'm with my client. You got to find their why, right? So what's their hot button? Why am I in front of you? What brought me here today? And then what Gail said was yeah. Then you find out who they're looking to protect, right? And use that during the presentation. be using that name during that presentation to make it more real for them. Okay, Mrs. Jones, so when I drop off the check to your daughter Samantha for $100,000, da 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 da. Right now, you're making it real.
Oh, it's so real, so real. Or we could use a play out of Fournier's book and say, "Are we going to kill Joe or Mary first?"
That's right.
I mean, that was the biggest takeaway of last weekend. I'm going to kill Joe first, so this is how you look, and then I'm going to kill Mary, and this is how you look. I mean, I thought that was priceless.
I was
Pretty
like, geez, that's intense, man. That was it gets the attention, right? Stephen Schmidt, what's up, buddy? On YouTube says, what products do each of you focus on?
You want me to go?
Sure.
We focus on everything. We are queen of the bundle.
That's right.
But we love MedSup. Obviously, it's the bread and butter. And then, of course, under age 65, suing the federal government and winning that, we got to stay in that market, But I think cancer and dental, vision, and hearing are the best because I know what they do for people. Dental, vision, and hearing and a senior distribution just makes the seniors feel good about themselves. And then cancer keeps away the financial stress. And so there's always a way to bring that in.
Yeah. When you guys get a chance to hear Galen speak, you'll probably hear the story of why cancer insurance is so important and special to her. So, which thank you for sharing that at last weekend's event, by the way. That was.
Let me piggyback off that because Galen's actually helped our agency selling cancer and whatnot. Has come on, helped some of our newly found Medicare agents and side of the business. So this is something that we're teaching our agents as well, based on Galen's training. So
thank you, Matt.
Yeah. Well, I'll be Jeff for right now, but
Jeff, I meant. Sorry, I was looking at Matt. Jeff.
All good. No, to answer Matt's question on here.
Zoom's not the room.
Right. Yeah. We focus on life insurance. Started term life insurance, and IULs and so on. And now we do a lot of final expense. I think it just cash flows better for agents, and so agents kind of gravitate towards it. Just the simplicity of it all, getting paid quickly, and whatnot. So for us, it's mostly life insurance products. Gotten to Medicare this last AEP.
Yeah, for us, it would be final expense is what brought us to the dance many years ago, and then the light bulb came on. I started messing with Medicare about. It's been about 6 years ago, I guess now, but we really got intense with it. So Medicare Advantage mainly. We do subs, of course. Dental, cancer. What Gail said, and then we just added on ACA, the under 65. I mean, it's a beautiful market right now, and that will feed our Medicare business for many moons. So that's kind of our specialty right now. And then we're bringing on annuities here in the next couple of months.
I love it.
Diversification.
That's right. Matt also asked, hey, besides asking, what are your thoughts regarding life insurance on your spouse or children? What other questions could you ask to get the conversation started?
Well, I always love to say, what income protection do you have set aside? Typically, if you're selling life insurance in the younger ages, they don't have any money put back. And if you're in final expense, it could be a hit or miss. It could be they have no money, or they're going final expense because they're older and they don't have term. But that's kind of what I always ask is, what income protection do you have set back? And if it's a senior, we'll use the word asset protection. So either one of those typically work for us. That's our end.
We always ask, in this, we're all telesales. And so, we get a lead in, is this coverage for you, or is this for you and a loved one? And that kind of gets the conversation started. So we're not saying coverage for you and a loved one, or is this coverage for you or a loved one? It's for you or you and a loved one. Just assuming it's already for them. So that's key in our presentation that we say every single time.
That peace of mind is great.
That's huge, man. I love that. That's smart. Well, and one of you said just a second ago, Galen and I heard this weekend. One of you, I think it may have been Matt, said the word when. XXX, right? You kept talking. You said when instead of if. Was that you, Matt?
Probably. If it was good, I'll take credit for it.
I love it.
I love it. I love it. Well, what else would you guys like to share, as we probably have a lot of new and struggling agents watching this, hoping to get to your level?
Well,
I think tune in, to all the speakers and everything they have to say. Again, you put together a star-studded cast of individuals who've been there, done that at the highest level, right? So we can always learn from that. If you want to learn basketball, listen to what Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan have to say. Did you just miss that again?
I missed again.
If you want to know baseball, listen to the people who have been there, done that, have the scars to prove it. They'll save you time. They'll save you money by listening to them. So I think that's a huge thing. Time and money, it can be. So, tune in. You're going to get a lot of good ideas, and hopefully it's going to help a lot of people.
And I think also remember, my dad used to have a saying, and I'll leave out the first part, but we used to come in this world the same way and we're going to go out the same way. So we're all people. No one's better than you. They may do something better than you, but no one's better than you. And I think one of the things that really helped tee me up with everybody is last year on the virtual, I talked about being a 34-year overnight success. And I had more people that said, thanks for that, because I see a lot of these people on Facebook and I've written 10 apps for the week and I think I'm a loser. Or I've written 6 apps for the week and I think I'm never going to get there. And I think one of the things that we've got to really get clear to everybody is that, start goal setting. Nobody started playing Little League Baseball thinking day 1, minute 1, I'm going to be the next whoever. They just played for the love of the game. Then as they got to loving the game, they thought, oh, I love this so much, I might do this for a living. Nobody wakes up wanting to be an insurance agent. But when we get here, we all say the same thing. Best decision we ever made, unless we quit right before everything just falls into place. And that's what I would tell an agent or anybody that's getting ready to watch. Everybody's story will be the same. It'll be, I struggled with this, I struggled with that. You're going to hear lots of struggles because no one has ever succeeded without failure. No one. Failure is just part of the game. And it makes you better and it makes you appreciate it more.
Absolutely.
Aha.
Hey, what's up?
Well, I got a confession to make real quick now that Eric's on. He said he was going to come on cam and do his little bus dance he did the other night on that pole.
Did you get on the pole?
Yeah.
I missed that. What?
I did. That was Thursday night. That was Thursday night when we got crazy.
Oh yeah, I didn't get to go that night. Dang it.
That's
There's enough video out there of me.
I gotta hop off here. I want to say goodbye. I'll talk to everybody tomorrow at the event, and see you guys soon.
Thank you, Jeff.
Bye, Jeff.
Bye.
Thank you,
Hey guys, I gotta go as well. I think I made Jeff a little uncomfortable with my comments, so that's my cue to get out of here.
I got you. Don't worry. I'll see you at 8%. I got poll waiting.
All right, guys. Y'all take
See you,
care.
buddy. See you, Matt.
Oh, my 2 favorite interviewers, and I'm in the middle of y'all.
How about
That's
that?
pretty awesome. I need to take a picture of this. This is fantastic.
Yes.
Maybe
yes.
the best centerfold ever. There we go.
I love that.
I love it. I love it. Eric, welcome, bro.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy to be here, man. As always, anything Cody Askins is doing, I am supporting 100%.
Thanks, man. You're a good dude. Galen, what makes Eric such a good guy, man?
I've known Eric for a lot. Gosh, what, 5, 6 years, maybe longer. I'm trying to think of all the trips we've been on. One of the things that I think makes him a good guy is he's so humble. I am constantly coaching him on putting himself out there more, bragging about himself more. And I don't like total braggadocious people, but he's the opposite. You know, the thing that Eric's got going for him is he's a fantastic interviewer. He listens, you know, and that's the number one problem all insurance agents have is we are great at running this. We're not great at stopping this. And listening is a huge benefit he has. And other than that, he's a great husband and a great dad and just a really great friend.
Thank you so much. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I love being anywhere I can be with you guys. You know, Galen, every time that we get around, we love to have a couple drinks and start talking about life and business. And I love that we could talk about such a variety of things. We have history, you know, and that history is a big deal.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's one of the things I always tell insurance agents. Remember one thing, that in this business, it's a very small circle, smaller than you think. And everybody knows everybody, and that everyone's connected in one way or another. So it's always important that you don't burn bridges, and you make sure that, you know, the people we work with, that we respect, because it is a small world. And I think when we get into conferences, it's never more evident than when we're at the conferences.
So you're going to love what I told Cody before you got on. I came up with a new rhyme, Eric.
All right.
Zoom is not the room.
Boom.
I love the room with all the energy, you know, and I did tell him they killed Dr. Seuss this week, but, you know, I guess I'm going to take the place. But I think it's interesting watching all these folks that have, you know, I was talking to Cody about all the different conferences he had when he and Andy and I were sitting and talking. And I was like, you know, I heard about you 3 years ago, and, you know, it's crazy how your thing has grown, how big this thing we were at last week. That was massive fun. I know I went real Southern there. But, you know, it was so much fun because it was almost like, oh my gosh, these people still exist. I'm so excited to just be amongst people. And it was crazy how everybody just, you know, connected. And there were a lot of new people. You and I hadn't even got to meet face to face that were coming up to us. So, Cody, I'll tell you this story. You'll love this one. So I'm sitting at the airport and I'm waiting on Sean and Scotty. And this lady walks up to me, and I'm waiting on Rebecca Davis. And she goes, "You're famous." And it was one of the people coming to the event. And I've talked to this lady several times. Her name's Jessica. And so she said, "Would you sign this for me?" And I said, "I will." So this lady next to me, this little elderly lady sitting between me and her, and she said, "So are you a singer in Memphis? Because you look really familiar. And I might need to get your autograph." And I'm like, "No, I sing great in the car and in the shower, but I'm an insurance agent." And she goes, "Oh, okay." And she was like,
Funny.
"Well, I'll go now." And then she wasn't even waiting on the same plane we were going on. She was just sitting there randomly. Rebecca Davis and Renee and I, we were all laughing. It was hysterical.
That's so
That was funny.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. It's what I'm learning is you get the three of us and Justin, you get the four of us together. It's dangerous.
Yep. Is he not joining us today?
I don't know. I we'll see, I guess.
I need to wear his phone out.
One
Come
of
on, JB.
one of the things I want to say real quick, you know, Cody, and I've told Cody too that, you know, for the longest time, I've been in the business helping insurance agents be able to grow, get into business, be able to level up. And I never really, I guess I didn't really take much initiative towards going to the next level myself of getting on stages and speaking in public and doing all that. And Cody, when he first put together 8% Nation in 2018, was one of the first people to give me the ability to start on stage. And I thanked him at the last conference. I really, really wanted him to see me speak. I just wanted, because I feel like he's been able to see my progression getting on stage. And I've had some help from other people too, with some coaching. Brandon Clay's been a great coach of mine to help me with, you know, when I'm on stage, to make sure that I'm keeping people engaged. And so it was, to me, last weekend was really awesome, because Cody sat there and he watched the whole thing. He took some notes for me like a good friend would. And, but it was like, it was just awesome to have that happen, to basically have Cody sitting there watching me, because it's always me watching him. You know, it's always me watching him on stages and speaking to people and helping people in a big way. And it's really, I really want to thank you. And just because I don't know if you know this, Cody, but I tell a lot of people when they ask about me and they ask about the sales system and they ask about, are you recruiting and all that stuff? I said, no, to be honest, it's in my career in the past 15 years, it's normally always been, you're either an insurance agent or you're an agency. But I said, but Cody actually started to carve out a new niche, a consultant. And I said, that's where I'm at now. I'm not in the recruiting area. I'm not in the agent area. I'm more in the consulting niche now. And it's something that we have Cody Askins to thank for, because you carved that niche out, you know, and I think that that's going to be more people that are going to end up following in that path. So I just wanted to say publicly so everyone can hear, like, you're the man. Thank you for that.
Dude, you're the man, buddy. Thank you.
He's so sweet.
He's always so freaking nice, right? What's funny is you're like the most humble. Thank you, Kelly. You're like the most humble person I know. I'm grabbing a standing mat, so I'm standing on the carpet. You're like the most humble person I know. You know, like you are one of the most talented people I've ever met that doesn't even realize it. You know, and Galen was probably talking about me slightly, even though she won't admit it, of someone that, you know, doesn't struggle with confidence, even though I try to make sure I'm humble at the same time. But dude, there's no doubt, Galen and I would agree, Eric could pump it up because you are an absolute machine, and you know that we both believe in you as much as anybody. So
yeah, and I appreciate that. That's why I love having you guys in my corner. You guys believe in me. You help to, you know, continue to encourage me as I move forward in my endeavors, and I appreciate and value you guys so much.
Thanks, buddy. I love it.
You are such a doll. You know, I love that word you just said, encourager. You know, the more I've gotten to know Cody, that's a word I would use with him. You know, I think that he's an encourager, and I like to think I am. I think when you're an encourager, people want to be around you. And, you know, because you'll have people go, why is everybody around you? Why does everybody want to go around with you? And I'm like, I don't know. But I think that's it. I think we encourage people. We want people to feel good about themselves, and we try to have fun. And, you know, I've had Zach and Miles and Josh stand up during my presentation, because I do think that's what people, when they look at who can make it in this business, if you were to just see Miles' Facebook profile or Miles just out and about, you would think, is that dude really an insurance agent? Because, you know, the average insurance agent used to be 57 years old, which is my age, by the way, right now. And, you know, gray hair, and, you know, I won't have gray hair. That will not happen. And, you know, and just, you know, smoke cigarettes or whatever. And now we have these young, dynamo, professional people that I got to spend an evening with them, and they were just such a joy, and they're so respectful. And the letter that Zach sat down and wrote to all of us was mind-blowing. I mean, I saw that and I was just like, you know, when I first saw Galen's a pit bull, I was like, I don't know that I like that. But then when I got, she has a heart of a Labrador retriever, I was like, okay, this is getting better. But, you know, it was so humbling. I mean, I read that thing and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's so talented. I mean, that just meant a lot to us. So, Zach, if you're watching, I told you, dude, the way you get better is to keep coming to stuff like this. And I'm going to tag you and tag you and tag you till you keep watching all this stuff. But, you know, I kept asking Andy, who was the guy I owe the book to, because I got it right over here. It's Matt Evangelista. So that's who we've got to get it to. But Matt, I know you're listening. I got your book right here. I've already signed it, autographed it. I just need an address and a, you know, place to send it to. But you know, I just think that's so crazy awesome that those three guys are just, and to hear Josh, you know, I didn't get to hear his whole speech because everything was kind of running late at that moment. But just hearing him in person and the knowledge he shares, Christian Brindle, oh my gosh, I love that boy. Yeah. You know, there's just so many people that have been and Justin put on a great show. His team was great. And, you know, and I'm excited about this weekend. I mean, Jeff and Matt said it best, Cody, you've got a star-studded lineup. And what I love about it is Cody listens. You know, because he calls people back and he says, hey, what did you like about the event? What did you not like about the event? And he's just so thankful whether you like something or you don't like it. So when he asks for your feedback, you guys, give it to him because he listens. I saw it on the lineup, my man. It was awesome.
Thank you. Well, I've not always been the best listener, but I learned really quick in insurance that you want to be a great salesperson selling insurance, you got to listen more than you talk,
100.
Yeah. And you guys are two of the best at that, by the way,
Thank you.
One thing I love that you mentioned a second ago too, that I think a lot of agents that are listening struggle with, that you talked about how important it was for people, is their own personal confidence level. Like if someone, like for example, like we were talking about how freaking incredible Eric is, right?
Mm-hmm.
You guys listening need to have people around you like Galen and I, like Eric does, right? Or like I do with these two, or like Galen does with everyone in the industry, right? Like you have to. And I really believe, like I talked about it, I said at the Medicare conference, like if it's meant to be, it's up to me. Those that are listening, you can 100% be successful in 2021 by listening to people like this and by believing and applying what they say and believing in yourself. But if you don't believe in yourself, it doesn't matter anything else. If you don't have confidence, you can have the best skill in the world like Eric Vieira. But if you don't have the kind of confidence that you need to succeed, the skill doesn't even matter at that point.
Yep.
100.
Dr. Norman Vincent Peale says you have to love yourself like God loves you.
That's so good.
And I love that. When I wake up and I'm having a bad day, I had a bad day yesterday. And I woke up this morning, I was like, okay, I need to love me like God loves me. And, there's some days where we're just not lovable or we don't love ourselves. And I think it's great when he says, love yourself like God loves you.
Yeah, that's good. That's so good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I yesterday, people would say, dude, you loved yourself. You did a lot of freaking crazy stuff yesterday. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at all the negative comments and haters and all that as well. Right?
What did I say? If you don't have a hater,
yes,
you're not doing something right.
That's right. You did say that. Yep. And we're all going to get them, like when agents start out in the business, you guys are listening, you start out in the business and your family's like, hey, go get a real job. You have to listen to you more than you listen to any of the haters, any of the naysayers. And I'm sure Eric's had plenty along the way.
Still do.
No way. There's no way, Galen. There's no way there's something like
I'm
this.
beating them up one at a time, Cody. I'm just taking them down one at a time.
There you go.
Hey, usually when somebody hears Mama Galen calling, they're like, oh, Lord, what did I do now? It's the way I used to be when somebody was calling me when I was young. I would be like, oh, crap, what did I do? But, I do think that's good advice, Cody, because I think one of the things everybody struggles with is confidence. I mean, I went to a seminar, and I'm not really trying to be the pastor of the group, but I did go to this thing, and it was called Godfidence. And I was like, that's a good take on the word. I need to know what that means. And so the pastor at the church started speaking on it, and it's kind of going back to what Dr. Norman Vincent Peale said. Confidence is loving yourself as much as you deserve to be loved. And there's a lot of people that are type A personalities, or the D and the DISC assessment. I think you talked about that we look really together on the outside, but there are days on the inside where we don't look the same out here. And so I think what we have to do is we have to be reading constantly. I've thought about that because when I got started in business, that's how I got started. My dad threw me 2 books, like I told you guys last weekend, See at the Top by Zig and Norman Vincent Peale's The Power of Positive Thinking. And I'm now reading this book, as I told Cody on the podcast the other day. And this is a good book for you, Eric, and I'm going to buy it for you. It's called The Tough-Minded Optimist. And this book has been amazing because what I didn't know is I started looking at this line that Dr. Peale wrote in this book, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is about today. Well, this book was copywritten in 1961. I wasn't born until 63. So it just goes to show you the world's the same. And there are ups and downs, and that's how the insurance business is. You are going to have ups and you're going to have downs, but what you've got to remember is when you're having one of those down days, tell your other half, hey, today I need encouragement.
right.
I'll get back on this conversation with you tomorrow, but today I need encouragement. And I was trained by a trainer that sold, and don't y'all laugh because I know you're going to anyway, because I already told you not to. But he sold encyclopedias. And he used to tell all of his salespeople that every time, and this is going to sound kind of sexist, but I don't mean it that way. I am a woman, so I'm going to say it. But he goes, Mamas, every time you gripe at your husband, you're taking $1 out of Dad's pocket, which is your pocket, because you manage the money. So every time you complain, $1 is coming out. And for all of you watching, that goes for men and for women, and women and women and men and men. I'm including everybody. But I'm just saying, you've got to be that encourager. You know, that happy wife, happy life. I think that rhymes. I don't know about husband. We got to come up with that. Before this is over, we'll come up with that. Maybe happy spouse, happy house. That's what I'll go with. I like that one. That's going to be my new one.
You just saw the magic happen right there.
I know. Hey, we all came up with it. But, you know, I think that's what we've got to remember. We make bigger dollars today. But I would just encourage everybody when they're watching all these speakers, remember Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither were they. Literally, we have got to remember that when you're starting out, you're starting out. But if you watch good people and you listen and you observe, you'll get there faster than those before you. But you've got to pay attention, and you got to have a great attitude. You know, that's the thing I love about Zig Ziglar. I just told my DTC team this. Somebody asked him, what do you do for a living? And he says, I love to show people the best cookware. He didn't say I'm a cookware salesperson, because that goes a long way, right? But, you know, I provide people a service in showing them good cookware. And we educate. We're not insurance agents anymore. We educate in the business of insurance. So I would just have a lot of patience and know you're going to get there.
I wanted to, we were talking about books, since Galen brought up books. Cody was talking about if it's going to be,
I've
it's on.
heard about that.
Right?
Yes.
What I love about Jocko Willink with Extreme Ownership is, and this was actually given to me by one of my employees, because we would talk about what ends up happening many times is if we're not making the sales we want to make, if we're not enrolling people the way we want to, if we're not hitting our numbers, we start to blame outside factors. We blame the leads. We blame our crappy internet connection. We blame the fact that who knows what. There's a whole myriad of reasons why. But the point of this book and what made it a breakthrough for him is that he understood in order to get ahead, he has to own every mistake and failure and know that he can learn from those mistakes and then grow from those mistakes and failures. And I think a lot of people, it's easy to blame other factors and find an easier out to quit versus saying, you know what, this is a learning moment. It's on me. And, you know, and now I'm going to have to take some positive action to keep moving forward. That's what I like about that book. So I recommend, you know, again, if we're recommending books, that's a great book because just like Cody was saying, if it's going to be, it's on me. That's the purpose here, right? Jocko Willink's like, hey, you got to own it all. Own the success, own the failures, own it all. Extreme ownership. And that's where you're going to end up finding more success.
I think that's amazing. One of the things that I think is really good about that is, you know, keeping your head clear of the clutter. You know, you hear that all the time. And that's what he's saying is that, you know, you've got to keep this clear. And when you fail, own it, be accountable. And when you're succeeding, own that too, because that's on you as well. And, you know, it's okay to be excited about that. It's okay to say, hey, I did that. And I think so many of us are afraid of appearing braggy. But like I told Eric, I think it was, I lost my nights, but it was Friday night, I think. But I told Eric, I said, hey, dude, you know, you need to get this out there more. You know, I told Rebecca Davis about you, and man, she has spread the word like wildfire. And she loves you and she loves your program. And then I heard Renee say the same thing. And, you know, they just dig you. And
Yeah.
so you get to own that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And I definitely like, I am a very confident person. It is a little tough for me to brag on myself, but I definitely am confident. That's why the program's so good, is because I know I'm good. I know that I can build something awesome, make something that produces results, that's the name of the game, right? Results. Yep. We want results. And that's something that I'm very happy to say that we can do for people. And I think that's why I have, you know, so many members who are in the program that are out there saying the same thing. Hey man, this is the real deal. You know, this isn't a fly by night. This is the real deal. And yeah, I'm really proud of that. So, but I always thank you, like I said, because I know that one of the big moves I'm making this year, and this is, again, I remember first night at the Gurus conference, Cody had a little mastermind that he held. And I took a picture of the whiteboard he was writing on, because he was listing if these are the next things that you need to level up, right? Because I've been making really good 6 figures for a long time now, but I'm trying to level up to the 7-figure level. And so when I saw his list, I said, man, this is good stuff. A lot of it I've started already implementing, but there's other things that I know I need to do better. I need to have someone that's going to help me on the operations side more, because what I'm great at selling my program. You ask anybody who does a demo with me, like they're sold. They see everything. They're like, where do I sign up? Right. I want to focus more on that. And so I know that I need to have someone else helping me more with the operations side of things, very much like Cody. And that way I'm freed up to go do more speaking engagements, because it's another way that I get to be heard of more, is if I go and do more speaking engagements. So I plan on doing more this year. This year is going to be a big year of change. And, you know, but again, I have great people like yourselves who are always being encouraging, who are always leading the way in what you're doing. And I'm just like, hey, I enough that if they're willing to have me in their circle, they see something that they feel I can become. And that's what I'm going after.
The year of Eric Fierro, 2020.
That's right. 2021.
You're going to make this. You're going to make it.
I just think it's so inspirational. You know, I was sitting there listening to people speak, and you know, I got to know Pete Fournier just a little bit at 8%, but I got to know him much better this time, and we've become Facebook friends. But he sent me the nicest compliment. He said, "Man, I'm glad I went before you. I don't know what I would have done if I went after you." And I'm sitting there thinking, after he speaks, I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I going to talk about? I'm like, I'm not going to be able to keep this audience engaged. And one of the things I told Eric a while back, you know, I just always want to look out in the audience. And if I see somebody sleeping, then I know I've lost it. You got to trigger it up. And, you know, so I'll say a lot of things that, you know, do get reactions, which I think women can say easier than a guy can, at least right now. But
I cursed a few times on stage. I cursed a few times on stage.
I can't wait to watch your deal. I heard it was good. I heard a
blast up there.
Well, and you looked good, because they showed your video, and I was liking it. I was like paparazzi. But I do think sometimes what you've got to do is remember that I've used this new thing in training big agencies, because that's what my 2021 is going to be about. And one of the things I told them that I learned last year is now I sell like I buy. And if you sell like you buy, then you're not pushy, you're not aggressive, but you're closing, but you're literally educating why you would do the way you would buy it. And I've had so many people instant message me this from last week to this week when I spoke, and they were like, I'm trying that and it's working. And I'm like, well, what happened today? And they were telling me their stories. But I think it is a mind thing. You know, if you think that you're just sitting down talking to somebody, like I told my team, give me one business that doesn't have to sell their service. One business. 8% Nation has to sell. You have to sell. I have to sell. You know, when you're selling you, it's even harder, because when you're selling something, you can brag about that more. Selling you, it's harder to do. And so that's what I told you, Eric. I mean, it's not one of those things where you're going to go, hey, I'm the greatest. You're not going to be Muhammad Ali. But what you are going to do is you are going to exude confidence. And when you do that, people pick up on that. And they're like, that I want to buy that. Like
Yeah.
you held that book up and I'm like, oh, I'm getting that book, you know, because you held it up as what it's doing for you. So I already know you're a success. I know you wouldn't be reading a book that isn't helping you. So you already sold a guy's book because of your ability. People already know your ability. Cody's going to be able to sell any book he throws up because everybody's going to go, if Cody's reading it, I'm going to read it because he's a super stud. I mean, that's what confidence is.
Yeah. 100. You know, I was going to ask you guys a question because I feel that one of the things that keeps getting brought up to me by agents that they want to hear more of. And, you know, Galen, we actually started going down this path a little bit. And I think we were going to, you know, we were talking to Cody and Justin about it as well when we were thinking about doing that Friends series.
Yeah, but I had to lose weight before we put that second one out.
But they what they want to hear more about too, though, they said, you know, on social media, we always see the roses, right? We never see the thorns. And people want to understand more about what it took for us to get to our successes and to kind of be, I guess, I don't know if the word is to be more raw about, hey, man, it's not always like a straight shot up. Even Grant Cardone, I remember he said that once where he's like, success is not like this. Like it's going to be like this huge bumpy road, but you're supposed to continue to incline as you're going along the way. But people want to hear about those because I think then it makes it more relatable to them, right? Because they're experiencing it. And unbeknownst to them, we are too. We're just not talking about it in public as much, but it is happening. So there's no difference between them and us. You know, we're all experiencing the failures with the wins. What do you guys think about doing stuff like that, making podcasts that actually?
I love that. I mean, I'm going to be doing the Accomplished series, which you two are going to be on it. And I'll get my notepad in a minute and I'll tell you some of the questions because the whole premise behind that is something I talked about Eric a while back about. So there's going to be 3 questions. Everybody answers this, you know, everybody gets the 3 same questions. Then there's going to be a question that I ask that only I know or I found out about that person. And then the last one is going to be what some of the audience wants to know. And so what I think when the whole premise behind Friends or Our Friends was really about setting up, you know, let's be real. That was really what I wanted to do is let's be real, because Cody had asked me a question the very first time I interviewed with him. He goes, tell me about when a career agent leaves. How does that make you feel? And I go, you know, it's gut wrenching. It's like you're losing your child and they're going out on their own and they don't need you anymore. And you don't really know that feeling of a parent till that child leaves. It's not like going to grandma's overnight. It's like, they're not going to need me anymore. But you find out that they do, but it's in a different way. But what's happened is when some of these agents have left, you have 50% of the agents that give you credit for everything you did for them. And then the other 50% of the agents, it's all me. I did it my way. And, you know, and I just hung out there because I like the coffee, which we all know is a bunch of BS. Well, that's what people need to hear that are starting call centers, because they think it's easy. It's not easy. It's one of the absolute hardest jobs for a manager that there is. Thank you, Andy. He got me my info on Matt. But, you know, at the end of the day, I think when people hear that, they appreciate it. And they don't make the same pitfalls. You know, like I had a guy, good friend, been in the business a long time. As a matter of fact, I got started in the business with his dad. It's been a long time ago. But one of the things that was interesting about it is he said, you know, you lose an agent and you're like, he called me. He goes, I don't know why this guy left me. Why did he leave me? He's been with me all these years. And I said, I don't know why, but I'm going to tell you, it's going to be the best thing that ever happened to you, because you're going to learn all kinds of lessons after he's left. That's what I did at 8% last year, is every lesson's a blessing and every blessing's a lesson. And, you know, what you've got to remember is learn those lessons and apply it to the next person you hire. But also what I've found out is that there's a lot of good people out here that need to stay in career, but they're being recruited by some broker and they're being fed a line of BS, or they go out to their Facebook and they go, oh my God, this guy's a super stud. He's going to train me. I'm going to write 60 apps a week. It's going to be a beautiful thing. And then he goes out and he doesn't write 60 apps in a year, and he's lost the opportunity he had. But what he needs to realize is if he could just tuck the tail and walk back into where he was and said, hey, I made a mistake. So what we do with people with us, if they need that moment to think or they want to leave, take a month. Everything will stay identical in that month. But on the 31st day, you got to start all over again if you come back. But you're welcome back. And the other thing we do is if they want to go out on their own, we'll give them an immediate release if they'll just work with our brokerage, because we're going to give them the best contract they can get out there. And so they just segue over. Some find they like it. Some find they don't. Some find out it's a whole lot harder than what they thought. And it's always good when they call you and tell you that. But we need to get that message out. And that's what I'm going to be talking about at the next 8% Nation is career versus captive. And I mean, not career versus captive, career versus brokerage, because I don't like the word captive, Eric. You can go back and watch all that footage. Yeah. But, I do think that would be a great service to everybody.
Yeah. I think
so
Cody,
I took time.
Yeah.
Well, Cody, because Cody, in our last health interview, when I was doing that, you actually started going into that, which I don't hear you talk about it as much, but you did say, like, there's times where people have left you and you're like, what the heck? Like, right. So, I mean, would you be open to, talking more about that on camera?
For sure. Yeah. It's not as easy for me to do, but I need to do more of it, because you're right. Because it's not, because what we do, everyone would be watching and thinking, okay, everything just goes right for them. Nothing ever goes bad, Well, I woke up to like 5 pictures from people of like people bashing me on the internet, but at the end of the day, right, for me, I'm like, who cares? I'm committed to see you, babe, love you. I'm committed to winning, So yes, we need to share more of that, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
Well, dude, there's so much power in that, though, because like you said, everyone's going to have.
My big football player came in to say hello to me. This is Mr. Askins and Mr. Fierro. Say hi.
We're going.
Good to meet you, buddy.
We still hold the state championship record in Texas. 10 wins. 10 states. Now 3 in a row.
But I think there's power in that, Cody, because people need to understand that, what does it take for you mentally to see that kind of crap and then still keep pushing forward? I think that's just going to be something that really feeds people. There's another thing that was asked about a lot too. I'm just giving you guys content ideas here. But I get asked about a lot as well is just ways to creatively finance things, right? Because everyone does want to know how to scale, how to grow, but a lot of people may not have the money to do it. They may not have the money to immediately go hire people that can help them with scaling their business. So then they're like, well, do you guys have suggestions on ways that you can creatively finance? What are things that are possible? What are ways to do? Like, I think people want to hear more about that. And I told them, I'm like, we gotta make a disclaimer and say, listen, we're not financial advisors. We're just telling you some ideas of what we've seen, but we're not suggesting you do it. Okay, so we're just laying it out. But you guys probably know.
I'm going to have to go because I'm already late for a meeting. It was supposed to be at 6, and I was like, oh, I got plenty of time. I look up, it's 5:47. I'm like, oh. So thank you, Cody. I love everything you do. That you're a rock star. Thank you for having me. Eric, you know how I feel about you. I love your shirt, by the way, because you are blessed. I love Miss Jessica and your son. So I see you guys live, on the virtual, the next couple of days. So have a great day, y'all.
That's right.
Bye.
Thank you, Galen. Appreciate it. I love Miss Galen. Make sure that you go follow her. You give her some words of encouragement as she's leaving. She's amazing, and you can see her along with Eric and myself and other speakers, Les Brown, Brian Tracy. Right? Who's going to be better? We'll see. Brian Tracy or Eric Fierro? We don't know yet, but we're going to find out.
Probably me. But you need to check in to find out. Check in to find out.
That's right. You know what I loved, and I wanted to transition to is both of you showed books when you started talking. And so the question for the audience is, how much are you reading? How much are you learning? Like when I interviewed Brian Tracy, he gave his golden triangle of success, and he's going to give it Saturday. And what he talked about is you have to always be committed to learning.
Yes.
You seem to embody that really well.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I was just having this conversation yesterday with Josh Lustig about how, because I was telling him, you know, you have already at a young age found a path to success, something that's repeatable, something that you can scale. How do you keep your mind? How do you train yourself to not basically say, I'm here, I know it all, I'm just going to keep repeating this. But instead, he's open. He wants to still, like a sponge, absorb everything. And, you know, I'm a little bit older than him, and I've always kept myself that same way. I don't think that any of us are ever going to get to the pinnacle where we know it all. There's always going to be stuff that we can learn from other people and from reading, which are still other people, right? You're learning from books who are written by people. And the best thing you could do for yourself and your business is always stay coachable, always. And I think, again, I call you out a few times, you know, because Cody, you embody that. Like, you are obviously doing really big things in our industry, yet you still pay to be coached by other people because you know there's more you can learn. And
That's right.
I mean, that's to me, you're leading by example. And I do the same thing. I invest at least $30,000 a year minimum is what I'm investing in myself, in different courses, different books, trainings, whatever it is, right? Getting in the room, as Cody likes to say, getting in the room. I always feel that that's going to return, and easily return tenfold if you do it. And I think that's one of the reasons why Josh, he said he spent over $120,000 on himself. But the reason he kept spending more and more money is because he kept seeing it come back even better, right? And I'm sure you're in the same position.
That's right. That's exactly right. Once you see something come back, you know, you start to believe in your ability for things to come back. You know, like when I make investments now, I don't worry about them coming back. I know they're going to come back because I know I'm going to show up as a learner, make sure I grab information while I'm a part of it, and I'm going to commit to actually being successful once I grab the information.
That's it. And I think that one of the things I like to coach people on, because you still see this a lot in the agent community, and it's not that it's necessarily their fault. It's just you don't know what you don't know. And people don't realize how often they actually have a consumer's mindset versus an investor's mindset. So when they look at the cost of anything, to them, it's a payment. It's like, I got to pay for this too, and I got to pay for this. Instead of saying, okay, so if I invest in this tool, what kind of return will it get me, right? And that's an investor's mindset. An investor is going to always look at something and say, if I invest in this training, in this tool, in this event, what's my return going to be? And if it's more than what you put in, it's a win, right? And it doesn't have to be a magic number like, hey, I need to make back at least 50% more than what I put in. It could be as little as 20%. It's still a gain, right? That's the name of it. That's why investors are rich as hell, because they look at things far differently from the traditional person. 90-something% of America has a consumer's mindset to everything.
And a lot of people want the investment to come back today or tomorrow, and a lot of times it doesn't. Like when I've done 8% 3 times, 18, 19, 20. I've spent probably, let's just call it $1.5 million in 3 years just on the conference alone. Okay. Did that money come back to me yet? Maybe, maybe not. From the conference, definitely not. From everything else, maybe so. But is it going to come back to me over the next 3 decades? Abso-freaking-lutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
And the great thing about what you're doing is it's a snowball effect that's only getting bigger and bigger. And you know, you'll end up being hard pressed to find somebody in the insurance industry, at least in our niches, where you could say, "Hey, have you heard of 8%?" And they're not going to be able to say no. They're going to be like, "Yeah, I've heard of 8%. I've been there or I've always wanted to go." You know, those are the things you're gonna end up hearing. But
that's right.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it does. It takes that shift in your thinking, which is not always the easiest, but it's necessary. Shifting from the consumer's mindset to the investor's mindset.
That's right. Well, and it also shows that you're a long-term thinker instead of a short-term thinker.
Yes. And that's one of the things I always tell people, like, if you want to get into the Medicare niche, I love when the final expense guys, they always tell me, they're like, yeah, man, I'm in final expense because that's that sexy money. That's that money that comes to you right away, right? And he's like, but I understand the Medicare game because that's that long-term money. And I'm like, yeah, man, I've always told people that if you're going to get in the Medicare game, be okay with not seeing that money for a couple of years. You know, you're going to work your tail off. You're going to build it up. But I promise you, you're going to look back 3-4 years from now. You're going to be like, damn, I'm glad I put in that work. And the cool thing is you can still be getting that sexy money at the same time. It doesn't mean you have to stop, you know? So, but the point is you should at least start to dabble in the industries where the residual income is coming in, which is the Medicare niche and the health insurance niche. That's another, to me, that's one of the next big booming, job economies that we see coming up is the health insurance economy, because more and more big producers are getting in there, like your Rebecca Davis, like, Brad Hannon, who's also killing it in the game.
Yep.
And out there also showing people how to get in it.
That's right. All right. If you and I played one-on-one, who wins?
You would probably be able to drive on me pretty easily over and over again, but I maybe be able to outshoot you.
What if we were going to 10 and I gave you 9 points?
Oh, then I'd win.
How much money you got on that?
I'd win. I'd easily put $100 on that.
What about 1,000?
Come on. You're telling me that I only got to make one shot to win? I can do that. You want to see my confidence? I'm telling you. Okay, I'll put 1,000 on it. I can do that.
Boom! Who wants to?
You're not gonna get 10 hoops on me in the time that I have to get one. No way.
Yeah. Hey, Nate, give me a thumbs up when you're ready to come up. By the way, because I played Nate's son at his house, and I made a bet that I would give his son Alex $100 for every point he scored.
Okay.
I got up 8 or 9-0. His son scored, and I had to give his son $100. Nate,
So,
remember that story?
I do. So, yeah, this is a little bit strange here. So I busted my back, so I have a stand-up desk I'm actually trying to put together today, and it wobbles, so I can't put the external camera on top of the computer at the moment, or else you'd be seeing like this the whole time. So I have a makeshift, like, duct taped. So it's like way high up there. I'm trying to figure out how to get it to work. So anyway,
it is.
There we go. Oh, look at that, tilting it.
Boom.
Look, it's up so high. I'm looking like down here at you guys, and I'm looking down.
Well, we got a bunch of people on that are like, dude, how do I make 7 figures like Nate offered?
Well, obviously you realize, you're a bunch of people watching, right? We probably realize pretty quickly you don't be that smart to do it. So that's encouraging, that should give a lot of people some
True
encouragement to go, hey, this guy who doesn't know how to hook up a webcam the right way without having to jiggle around can do it. So can I. So, yeah, I'm. What's up, Eric? How are you, buddy? It's good to be on here.
Man. How are you?
What happened to Galen? She heard I was coming on. She just left. I wonder if someone talk really nice about me like that. My goodness.
Oh, you were watching, huh?
I've been watching you. I've been having you in the background pretty much all day on your marathon 8%. You'll be tired by tomorrow. How are you going to pull it off?
I don't know. My team's got me soup and like 6 different teas today and some throat drops because there's a good chance I lose my voice this weekend.
There you go. So you got a standing mat? You were saying, right? You have to shoot me. You have to shoot me which one's the best. I'm sure you tried them all.
Yeah, this one's pretty good.
And you always use the best. Make sure you text me that later on. During one of your breaks.
Yes, I'm sure I will.
I got my list of what I need for my stand-up desk. So.
I didn't buy it, so I couldn't tell you where we bought it, but Kelly did. So.
All right, we'll have to ask Kelly. I'm sure you guys are getting a lot of good stuff right now, right?
Yes.
Drop in the comments where the standing mat you can order on Amazon is too.
I'm gonna send the link to Merwin. He needs to be on this too. He's hanging out.
Hey, Cody, what is that? The new office? I haven't seen that set up.
Yeah, dude. How about that?
Now, that's a real size. Boom.
It's a real
size basketball hoop.
Yeah.
Right. I know Landon. Someone's going to come in there with a real basketball and start destroying that office. And they don't. I'm going to.
Yeah. Well, you just Just don't hang on it. Okay.
It's not breakaway rim
Well, it is, but I don't
in
know
the
how-
drywall.
I mean,
Uh-oh.
That's a soft dunk.
Well, you can land right on that couch. It's kind of break your fall. It'd be great.
that's true. I don't know if I don't know if it would hold. I mean, it would probably hold 178 pounds, but I don't know. Oh, we got Mitchell watching all the way from Trinidad and Tobago.
Whoa.
Oh, we had Canada on earlier. Alex, what's good, bro?
So he said, "What's up?" Give me 1 second. I got to do something on an email real quick. So just forgive me if I'm looking all over the weird places. So
Eric,
Yeah.
if they haven't registered, give the people what they want, bro. How do they make sure that they register and show up for this thing the next 2 days? And
Yeah.
why are you going to dominate Nate from a speaker standpoint?
Oh, well, I just think that, Nate, he's so humble. He's so humble. So I'm just going to come with the confidence, and I'm just going to have to, bring that fire, because he's too quiet. He's too quiet.
That's right.
Nate, he's too quiet. So
yeah,
that's not going to serve you well, buddy. It's not going to serve you well.
Yeah.
But you can go check out. It's www. If you haven't registered, www.8percentvirtual.com.
Boom.
I'm going to be short and sweet. Try to get some impact on Saturday. So
It's really expensive too to register.
Yes, it's true. It is true.
It's free right now, but in 8 seconds it's going to be $8.
I had so many tabs open. I was done doing what I had to do, and I couldn't figure out. I never did StreamYard really, so I couldn't figure out where to go back and try to find you guys. So I've just been clicking on every tab, like out of the 52 tabs that are open. So
Really?
What's that?
You need an IT guy.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, also, it starts 9 pre-show starts 9 a.m. Central. We'll kick off just before 10 Central, Eastern, 10 and 11.
Okay. Are we allowed to say what days we're speaking on, or is that
Nate
okay.
already did that? So go for it.
Yeah. So I speak tomorrow. Tomorrow at, do I say the time? Can I say
12
the time?
o'clock, man. Beyond 12:10. I already had it locked and loaded. Did it? You were one of my favorite ones. I make sure I wasn't scheduling anything during that time.
I love this guy. Look at him. He's
Yeah.
making me blush over here.
He says, "Dude, I want to be an 8% producer. Let's make it happen, boys." Dude, that's what it's all about. It's too easy. Okay.
There's Alex. Hey, Alex. Tell everyone. There's only probably like 1,000 people watching you on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and every other social media site that with his 20,000 followers. So tell him how you took $100 from. It's my son Alex. How you took $100 from Cody.
That's true.
So on a 1v1, like every time I scored, I got $100.
Yeah, you got 1 point. I mean, Cody was playing him like he was in the NBA. My gosh, Cody! I was like, Cody, dude, the kid's 14 years old, man. Cody's been slammed he about slammed it 3 times on him.
He's body checking him.
He plays like he's 19. That's not my fault.
There you go. There you go.
Cody,
buddy.
you're one of those guys that plays real aggressive, though, don't you? Like on the court playing, like you probably are playing like in the NBA. You're getting heavy with the body checks and knocking them around.
Alex, do I play aggressive?
Yeah.
There you
Well,
go.
you don't shoot that much, but you only drive.
Oh, yeah.
I told you. That's why I beat you there, Cody. See, you give me 9 points. If you not to a shoot off, I'm gonna win because you don't
You
shoot.
want honesty? Throw a 14-year-old kid on here, right?
Go to the bucket. Go to the bucket. All
Boom!
right.
Mitchell Lee wants to be an 8% producer.
That's right. Hey, Rebecca, give me a thumbs up when you're ready to come up. All right. Okay, she's ready. All right.
Rebecca Davis, Medicare Wonder Woman. Look at this
Medicare
crowd.
Wonder
Hey,
Woman.
guys.
Hey,
How are y'all?
We are great. We are great.
You look like you're having way too much fun in here.
We are. We're hanging out. We're talking about how you are going to absolutely crush it. Be the best speaker of the whole weekend. That's always good.
You're in for a good cry, then watch me.
You're a good what? Did she say?
A good cry.
That's awesome.
Are you gonna be telling some sad stories, Rebecca?
Oh, it was like therapy when Cody gave me my topic. I'm texting him in the middle of this. I'm like, this is therapy.
That's right. That's right. It is. It is. I mean, it's the topic that everyone needs to hear, though. You know,
And
like,
Rebecca Davis is on right before Eric, I think, if I remember correctly.
Good. I
Are
want
they
you to
going
get
to
more
have us
emotion.
do a virtual high five, like when
Yeah.
we cross screens?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rebecca gets on what 12, like 11, like 10 minutes before 12. Then Eric follows up. So I memorized the schedule for you, Cody, just in case. I got to pick my favorite people out to make sure I'm, because there's other things that are going on a little bit. So
it
All right,
does.
Rebecca, give me a high five. Can you do up to your go to your corner? There we
I don't know what StreamYard are we all in the same spot? We're doing high fives, Cody.
Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. There we go. Cody's going. There we go.
All right, now if we can chest bump, that'll be really hilarious. Okay, ready, Cody?
You're crazy.
Hey, I
Yep.
don't think you want us on here. Like, no one's going to get on your virtual conference.
Hey,
Like,
this is
what?
what
We're wasting time.
What happens in the insurance industry when all you guys watch it on YouTube and Facebook, you start making large amounts of money. Okay, this is what happens. You start acting silly. You start having more money to know what to do with, and before you know it, you're like Eric, Rebecca, and Nate, and he's going to spit out his water.
Oh, yo, that's
what
like
happened.
Cody breaking computer, or being like Cody breaking computers.
That's right. Hey, how about that ad yesterday?
It was funny, hilarious. Did you see
What
it, Eric?
ad? What ad?
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Oh,
the
yes.
one
You need to go watch that.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. That was in your face right there. I love that. I almost went in through my TV just so I could try to feel what that felt like. It must have been amazing.
I did. It wasn't that cool. I was like, Cody's doing it, I'm doing it. Then I realized it's broke a pretty expensive TV, but it's all right.
I have a printer you could have done that with 2 days ago, and then miraculously in the middle of yesterday, it just starts printing out all these documents from 2 days ago. 6 hours later, my husband, who does my IT, could not figure out what was wrong with it, and so he gives up. And then, like the next day, like at 2 p.m, it just starts printing.
Wow,
That's
funny.
that I got a lot of haters for that video, by the way.
What'd they say? I want to see the comments.
You want to hear them?
Yeah,
Dude,
these
I
are
can't
good.
believe you broke that monitor. I could have used it.
Yeah, probably. Let's see what we got. I got so many flipping notifications right now.
Was
Were
it a
they making
working
waves
monitor or was it a busted one anyways?
I meant to always say, Cody, if you're not making waves, your boat ain't moving.
That's right.
I like that.
And he said the bigger the boat you had, the bigger waves you get, and all those little people sitting there tied to the dock are going to yell and scream and moan and complain because their boat's like doing this, ready to flip over, and you're out there in your yacht, just So of course, he had a $20 million yacht too, so
Now we're talking.
he was able to use that analogy since they were all pretty much freaking out when he didn't go the speed. What is that coast? I'm not a boater, but where you're supposed to be in the coast zone. So I didn't hear any of your comments.
The wake zone. Yeah, what happened?
Well, I got to.
No wake zone. There you go. No wake zone.
I'll get to them. I'll pull them up. I'll get to them. I'll find them.
So those of you guys join tomorrow, I promise you're going to get this. Will be completely different than what you're going to get right now. Someone comes on, they're like going, yeah, that was a waste of my most wasted 10 minutes of my life right here.
Hey, also, if you show up tomorrow and you hate it, Nate's going to give you all of your money back.
100%.
Yeah, exactly. You get 100% refund.
Yep. 100% refund on your money. And I'll pay your whatever bandwidth you use for the month and just to prorate it out for the 30 days. That's what you should do. Give free bandwidth back for, someone doesn't like the conference.
Boom. We could do that.
Hey, you guys should see what a client brought me the other day. Since I'm in this office, hold on.
See it. Let's see it. I'm actually. That's really cool.
Y'all ready for this?
Oh,
Well, you might want to give a preempt. See, now people are really going to be like, what in the world? You might give them a little backstory for those.
That's so cool.
right on.
I'm getting a whole collection. People keep bringing me all this stuff. That's the latest one, though.
Damn, I need to be a superhero of some kind.
Yep.
Yes, you do. You are though.
What's a? I guess let's think of maybe a Hispanic superhero name. You know, like
I can ask my wife; she'll know.
Nacho Libre.
Nacho Libre, yes, he was a wrestler, famous wrestler, right?
I don't know. Jack Black made a movie about Nacho Libre. It was hilarious.
So that's real. Jack Black did it. It's real.
Yeah.
Cody reminds me of the Flash. He totally reminds me of Barry Allen in the Flash.
I like that. That I could do that. Totally. That's good.
I'm not even going to ask you what I remind you of. I don't even want to hear it. I don't even know. Definitely not Superman.
That's funny.
Well, I could, as long as I take my shirt off, I'd be all right. I get past for it, maybe. Stuck in the gut a little bit.
All right. So we dropped the three of you off in Montana. Okay. Is that your office phone?
It won't quit ringing. It's like an hour after hours, and I've taken like 8 calls.
That's how you know. Rebecca is super successful. Her office phone never shuts up. So we drop all three of you off in Montana. No leads, and you have to make 10. Let's call it $20,000 in 7 days.
7 days.
What do?
I call you first.
That's a good idea.
Where in Montana exactly?
Yeah.
Reach
Is
out
it
to
at like Old
reach out to a
Faithful
friend.
in front of the geyser, or like in a town?
I would probably start dancing for money. I'd make that money quick.
Boom. Selling insurance.
I would sell insurance, but I'm not sure what these guys are doing. I would probably go sell insurance.
It's not as fun.
What's the first step you would take?
Do I have any money? I mean, you're not giving me enough parameters here. Do I still have a credit card? Do I still have money? Am I like stuck with $100 in a car and a cell phone with no contacts? Is that where we're going with this? Like the undercover billionaire?
Yes, you get no money.
No money, huh?
We'll feed you. We'll give you a car. We'll give you a place to stay, but you don't get any money for marketing.
Oh, we get a car?
Yeah.
And no money for marketing. Do I have any? What do I have in my suitcase? Do I have any?
Oh my goodness! Here we go.
Do I have a tablecloth? Do I have books? What do I got?
Whatever you need, just not marketing money.
Okay.
No marketing money.
So, what do? For those that are watching, that they may be in this position right now, and they may be thinking, "What should I do?" So now's a chance for 3 legends to help other future legends.
My first couple of days, I'd just spend time. I'd be going wherever people were at. Yeah. I'd be asking about themselves. What do you do for a living? What do you do for work? What about this? Making friends. And they always turn around and they ask you, so what do you do? It's funny you should ask, right? So I'd be going to what I'm familiar with, really. You know, it's like I never sold door to door, so I'm not going to run around selling door to door and try to figure it out in a week if I have 20 grand to make. I'm going to go out there and find out, okay, what do I know how to do? I know how to put on events where I can bring people in for a free event and talk about a product or a service. I know how to network with people. I know how to get to someone's warm market by asking who they may know, by making them feel less offensive, right? So if I was out and I would network and make friends, then, you know, in the casual conversation, you know, depending upon what you do, and we have several different products, you know, it's like, what do you do? Well, I help, you know, protect people's biggest asset. Well, what is that? Their ability to work. What do you mean? Well, you know, if you lose your job, most people are 90 days away from their paycheck. So heart attack, stroke, cancer. So we're involved in that business. We also help people get out of debt in 9 years or less, including their mortgage, without spending any additional money than they're currently spending. So, I mean, Cody, do you happen to know anybody? You know, I'm here new in town. I'm getting my business rolling. I got a sales number I got to hit. Could you help me out? Do you happen to know anyone that may be interested in one of those two things? And you know what 70% of people say? I'm interested. Because you see how I did it? I didn't come at them. I didn't go out there to try to sell them. I went around them and took it away from them and created their interest. And then their mind went, whoa, I think I would be interested in at least hearing about that. Yeah. And then once I got that sale, who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? So that's exactly what I would do if you drop me off in the middle of Montana.
That's good.
Jacket first, depending if it's cold out.
Now let's rate Nate. Okay, you guys on Facebook and Nate on YouTube, 1 to 10 in the comments. 1, if it was horrible. 10, if it was actually really good and creative. Okay, now.
Well, wait, they should hear all of them first. What if they give me a 10 and then no one else can win? Or if I get a 1, it means I'm going to have to lose no matter what.
You never know, right? You never know. Okay, help me out, Facebook and YouTube, while we're waiting on those to come in because there is a little delay. I think Eric was about to jump in.
Yeah. Well, being that we have time against us, first thing I'd want to do is make as big a splash as I can. So I'd want to probably go hit up the nearest mobile home parks and try to set up a community event where I can do a presentation in front of many people in one shot. It's actually what we did when I first started getting into the Medicare world. Is we went and hit up mobile home parks, lots of seniors there. So if we can get there, talk to the event coordinator, set up something pretty quick, have at least 20, 30 people come in. Now I'm in a place where I can show that I'm a position of authority, because obviously if I'm being dropped with nothing, but I have this, I'm going to show them that I know what I'm talking about when it comes to Medicare. So I start doing my presentation, write as many as I can, have that position of authority. Now I'm going to do exactly what Nate said. After I'm writing up business, I'm going to be saying, is there anyone else that you think I can help with the same exact situation? And all of them are going to have somebody to talk to. So that's how with the short amount of time you've given us, 7 days, that's probably how I would hit it.
Okay, that's good. That's good. We got a lot of feedback on Nate's. What do you guys think on Mr. Eric's now? Okay, 1 to 10, the creativity. And the thing is, all three of these individuals could do 20 G's in 7 days with 0 leads or anything else. And you guys watching are like, dude, this is nuts. There's no way. I'm telling you, all 3 of these individuals would freaking crush it. Okay, so let's get Eric some scores. Okay, we got a bunch of 10s and 9.25s.
9.25s. You think the guy from like American Idol, right?
9.25.
Getting some. We got a couple 10s for Eric so far. Okay,
technical.
Now, okay, there's another one. Now let's see what Miss Rebecca would do.
Well, first of all, I'd spend my day figuring out the lay of the land and hitting up all the local mom and pop businesses and getting donations for a local block party. And we will host it, maybe a food drive, bring in some senior Meals on Wheels people, bring your dog, get some dog food people in there. And I get all these people gathered up to give me all the things I need for the party for donations. And then, since Facebook is our friend, I would blast the entire, 90-mile radius of wherever I've landed for a free block party. Bring your grandma, bring your dog, bring your brothers and sisters, whoever you want to bring. There's going to be giveaways. We're going to have food. It's going to be, just a great, fun social hour, meet your neighbor kind of thing. And in the middle of it all, of course, I'll stand up and give my 5-minute little elevator speech of who I am and what I do and how I can help them. And then I'll just go around and mingle and set appointments for the rest of the week.
There you go.
Boom. That's good. I like it, Rebecca. What do you guys think? And on Facebook and YouTube for Miss Rebecca, okay, we had Eric got some high scores as well. All right. While we're waiting on feedback for Miss Rebecca, okay, I am thinking about while you guys were talking, I'm thinking about, okay, what would I do? I think I would probably need 4 days. I would knock 150 doors a day. I would make 6 sales a day, 1 for every 25 doors. And I would put up about 20 to 25K in life commissions in 4 or 5 days and not even take the whole 7. And then I would go to the.
Oh, he's got a 1-up sizer. Oh, Mr. 1-upper. I was done day 2. I didn't know that was part of the deal.
Me and Eric saw Medicare. It takes more than 1 app to hit 20 grand, guys.
That's right.
But our money will last longer. The money will last
That's
longer.
right. But we'll have 20 grand the following 10 years where they'll be on day 3 going, oh, shit, I blew that. I got to do it again.
I love that.
That's why Cody has such good stamina, man, because he has that kind of mentality. He's going to go door knock 150 doors a day, man.
He's obviously never been to Montana. There isn't 150 doors in a single town in Montana. He's going to wear himself out.
He thinks he's going to do it in 4 days. When he's walking 3 miles to every door, from one door to the next, he ain't going to be doing it in 3 days. He's been here for 3 months. How many door knocks you have done? I got 12 done today, dude. How many miles have you walked?
So now everybody Cody's plan, now that we've poked holes all through it, rate Cody's plan 1 to 10.
Yeah, help me out, guys. Come on.
Somebody give him a 2.25.
So you are going to add this up, right? Because Eric's over there. He's texting me to death, going, "I'm going to beat you. I'm better than you." Doing all that. I mean, like just scroll down all this text. I just like to have. No, I'm kidding. He would never do that. It was awesome. So I think everyone gets a 10.
I got an 8.7, Matt. Come on. Oh.
That was called influence, outsider influence, other people's opinions there.
Then I got Cody's plan over 9,000. Okay.
What's that 9,000?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I get a 9,000. Okay. That
Nice.
brings my average up for sure.
Nice.
If 9,000. So
It's
well,
a 10.
here's what's funny. I just learned a lot. Like, even though that was a funny, silly thing, I just learned a lot. Like, I just like going, whoa, like I'm not in this industries. And it's like, I think it's one of the things I scratch my head when people, I always watch the successful people who still plugged in. And I always said, that's what I'm going to be. I want to be, and I hate that I'm successful. It's not a destination. It's a journey. You're never as successful as you want to be. So I'm not saying I'm successful. Am I financially free? Yes. Do I have the money game out of the way? Yes. Does that make me a success? I don't think so. It just makes me realize that I have one thing that usually is the primary foundation of most every other problem: spiritual, mental, physical, social. It takes a lot of better money to buy better food. You know, shopping at Whole Foods is 3 times expensive than going to a Walmart, right? You know, a good social life requires money, you know, physical life. So, you know, I always watch those people that, you know, there's types of people that they get the money game out of the way, and then they think that they've arrived and they stop plug into stuff like this, right? And then I watch people get the money game out of the way, like you all have already, where, you know, financial freedom is not $1 million in the bank and driving a Lamborghini. Financial freedom, if you look at the definition, is having enough money in the bank, passive income coming in to cover your basic necessities if you don't have to go to work.
That's right. I
think Robert Kiyosaki was financially free when he had 3 rental properties, right? Getting out of bed, making $5,000 a month, and your income or your expenses are 3, you're financially free. Now, you know, so unless you overspend and go buy stuff you can't afford, now you have time to really focus on, you have that foundation where you can really focus on everything that's really important in life. You know, because money's not important unless you don't have it. Then it's all encompassing. That's why I love people go, money's not everything. Yeah, well, if you don't have it, it's pretty close to the same as air. Every decision we make, unfortunately, in today's society is based upon the amount of money you have or you don't have, or based upon the amount of time that you have or don't have. And see, money doesn't buy happiness, but it does buy time.
Yeah. Man, you hit it right on the head.
Yeah, and I disagree. Money does buy happiness. Money doesn't buy fulfillment. Right? I love that one too. Money doesn't buy happiness. Yeah, I never seen anyone jumping on a jet ski, racing around the lake, and come back. That was the most miserable thing I've ever done in the world. Oh, screw that. Or they go to vacation, right? And they're in a 5-star hotel with a butler. They're like, I'm miserable. Right? Or little kids run downstairs and they open all their Christmas presents because that was the worst Christmas ever. So like, money buys happiness, man. It does. It just doesn't buy fulfillment. You know? So I scratch my head because I see, you know, the people. I understand why the people maybe that made it think that they've made it and that's good. But then I see people who like were me for many, many years who don't plug into this stuff and they don't have the success that they want. It's like, you know, Cody said, jump on. I have other stuff to do. My wife just got home. My son just got home and everything else. I'm like, well, you know what? Put me on. How do I get on? What's to give me 2 minutes? I'll jump on because I want to be around here. And I was watching, you know, I was watching it in the background pretty much all day, as long as he's been on here and had the sound on while I'm answering emails. And if I had to take a phone call, I'd put it on mute. Because, I mean, I learned stuff from you, Eric. I learned stuff from Galen. I mean, that was awesome. And the other guests he had on stuff. So, you know, it's such a cliche where 99% of success is showing up. But it's so true. It's so true because by showing up, by accident, pure accident, the stuff that you're going to need to have success in your life and your business and in your relationships is going to start rubbing off on you. Because what you notice as you watch Galen and what you watch Eric, you notice a bunch of confident people who aren't high on themselves, who realize they didn't get there by themselves. that they had a bunch of other people that spoke into their life, or they have agencies or customers that got them the success that they want. And that's how you can always tell a difference between someone who made it themselves versus someone who was given the money or didn't make it. Yeah. Because all of the people like you that are watching, you're going to have to, like John Maxwell says, right, grow through life instead of go through life. I would go through life my whole entire life until I met my mentor. Wake up, kid. You can't keep doing what average people do, or you're going to live a below to an average life. You got to do what wealthy people do. What do I mean? How do I know that? Start hanging around them. If you start hanging around people, you'll know, hey, look, that guy makes the most money. He stays late. Hey, that guy makes the most money. They listen more than they talk. Hey, that guy or gal makes the most money. They go above and beyond what their call of duty and what they're supposed to be doing. And like you start learning it in behavior. It's like an animal, right? You start watching, and you start to see, okay, now, and it's not something you're going to read in a book. I'm telling you. I have all sorts of people that I know that are, PMAer, go to this seminar and that seminar, or Weekend Millionaire, and they go to their entrepreneur class on Saturday, and they're still broke. They can recite the whole book, Think and Grow Rich, probably forward and backwards, and they don't make any money. They're broke because they didn't take the time to do the personal growth necessary. And that's the one thing that was hard for me to learn. You say you'll never make more money, well, unless accidentally, but in this business, in the insurance industry, I know what we do, your income will never exceed your growth. And I think you guys would agree with that. So I mean, guys, get on, man. If you're not, you gotta get on Friday, Saturday, push some stuff aside. If there's a couple things, appointments you can't move around. And I'm not telling you because I'm talking for 10 minutes or so. I'm talking about because I want to be on. I want to learn. I want to grow. I want to become better, because everybody that's going to be on that call, everyone that's on that panel, Cody Askins has things about him and it's his character that I envy, right? And his looks. He's good looking too, man. His body.
I know. I hate that he's so good looking.
He was not ready to take his shirt. He took his shirt off at my house to go swim in the pool. I made my wife stay in the room and shut the curtains. I was like, I can't see Cody with his shirt off. It looks like Hercules, right? Eric, you have things that I envy's probably the word, admire and would like to incorporate in my life. Rebecca, you do as well. I love your Wonder Woman socks. So I mean, that's something I would envy too, right? But every one of those people has things where I can pull, and I'll end with this, pull from, right? I made the big mistake when I started building a sales organization, thinking that since I had success and I arrived, that I could be everyone's answer, right? I could be I'll coach you, I'll mentor you, I'll train you. I'll be your answer. Then I quickly realized that I can't be everyone's answer. I can be Nate Offer and be that small piece of the puzzle in your life to help you get you where you want to go. But you're going to need way many more pieces than you're going to get from Nate Offer. I may have that thing that helps you do this, but Eric's going to have the thing that helps you do that. And Cody's going to have the thing that helps you do this. And Rebecca's going to have the thing, and so on and so forth. And when I was willing to give that control up and realize I can't be everything to everybody, I got really good at promoting events like this to my team and my organization and the people that are working for me, because I allow them to get what they needed from who they needed to get it from. Some people can relate to me. Some people hate me. I get it. Sometimes I'm too much. Some people are going, man, your energy is so contagious. Other people are like, your energy is so annoying, right? So I get it. It used to bug me. It used to bother me. It doesn't bother me anymore. I know I'm the right guy for the right people to help them get to the thing that they need from me to have success. But you got to be willing and open to surround yourself with successful people as much as you can, as soon as you can, all the time. So that's all I got to say about that.
I approve this message.
True, though. It's so true, Nate. I mean, no matter how good any one speaker is, they can't do it for the person across the table. All they can do is turn a light bulb on and make you think differently. But until you think differently in your own self and build an action plan around that, you're just always going to be sitting in the room and nothing's ever going to come of it. It's so true.
Yeah, I think that I tell people that all the time, that I get asked a lot. I got asked a lot for this event. Is it worth my time? Absolutely. Will every person that's speaking speak to you directly? Probably not. But I bet you several will. And the pieces that you get from those several people can change your life if you put it into practice, because it's one thing to listen to all this stuff, but without the action, it means nothing. So you hit it on the head, Rebecca. Action. You need to take action. It's activity, right? Activity must be taken in order to see results. So we have a great culmination now of speakers and industry leaders who are willing to more openly, more now than ever, to share information. I've been in this industry 15 years. I can tell you, I've seen how cutthroat it could be. I saw how much people would hold things to the chest. Never in the history of my career has it been as open with giving knowledge and information and blueprints of how to be successful. But you need squat if you don't actually take action.
I love that. Is it worth my time? I don't know how much your time worth, because the people that are going to be on there, there's some people that are making $100 a minute.
Yeah.
That will be speaking. I don't know. Brian Tracy, those guys, they're less. If you add it up to calculate their income, divided it by 52 weeks, by 7 days, by 24 hours, and by minutes, I wouldn't, doing it on my calculator, I wouldn't highly doubt there's people that'll be speaking that are making $1,000 to $2,000 a minute. So I don't know. Is it worth your time? Because they're making 20,000 more a minute than you are, and they're taking their time to do it, and they're going to be on it. So, that's what I would say. All right, Cody, Rebecca, I got to go. I got to roll. I got to get things moving. Thank you so much for sending me a text and having me jump on here. So hopefully I had some type of impact in someone's life watching this, or at least you laughed at me. That's an impact. Laughing is good. It's good for your health.
I love you, brother.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you, Cody Askins.
Thank you, buddy.
Take care, man.
Okay, see you tomorrow.
Boom. Boom.
Thanks, homie. Also, we just had, as he's turning his camera off, so I'll remove him. Someone's T on YouTube said, do watching these kind of surround yourself with successful people? It's part of the equation, but it's not the whole equation. Would you guys agree?
Could you repeat it again? What did you say?
It's on the, I don't know if you guys can see the chat too, but T on YouTube said, do watching these count as surround myself with successful people like this, right? I believe it's part of the equation. It's a step in the right direction, but it's not all of it.
I think it'll encourage people more to want to actually be at the live event. There's an energy that's hard to explain when you get around these people in person. It's just it really is. It's an energy that when you are hearing these ideas and you're spending the time and moreover, you're actually seeing that when I'm hanging out with Cody to a lot of people might be like this big persona, like, oh my God, he's Cody Askins. But when you spend time talking to him, you're like, he's Cody. He's Cody. And if a guy like Cody is out here doing these big things, what's stopping you? So I think that energy is really infectious. This is a good start to wanting to get you to the in-person, to see that it is worth being there and being around those people.
I agree. I mean, there's a big difference between two-dimensional and three-dimensional. And, the virtual is basically two-dimensional. You're flat. If you connect with somebody on a screen, think of how much you're going to connect with that person in real life. I mean, it's such a game changer to meet somebody in real life. So if you have any connection with any of the speakers on the next 2 days, can you imagine the connection you're going to have with that person in real life? Having a cup of coffee with them or just asking them a question when they get off stage. It's a game changer. This is a great way to meet people, kind of learn what they're about, who they are. You might take notes and be like, you know what, I'd really like to pick this person's brain or that person's brain. But this is a two-dimensional screen, and we're just getting to know each other because we can't, answer questions. We can't field conversations, but you can do that when you go in person in July. And you're going to have your favorites. And then some of the people that you may not have connected with on the flat screen, when you see them on stage, they may blow your mind on stage. And you're like, oh my gosh, that is so not the same person I saw on a screen. Now they're your favorite person. I mean, you just really never know. And until you get in the room truly, it's not the same. This is great. And be on it. You're going to learn so much. I have my favorites. I know everybody else has theirs. But there's several people on that I've never heard speak at all. I'm really curious about them and what they're going to say. And I can't wait to meet them in July when they're going to be live firsthand and, in person, three-dimensional.
Right. I love that. Also, we just had someone on. Thank you for sharing that, by the way. That's great. We just had someone share on YouTube. July ? If I make enough money by then. So I sent back, not if.
When?
Come on, right? That's it.
Absolutely. Hey, and I was going to say to plug into what Nate was saying too. It's important that I know people are busy, and I know that you have your own lives and you got things going on. But even myself, I had an appointment an hour ago, and I messaged Cody. I'm like, hey, I could be on for like 20 minutes, and here I am an hour later, because it's important to me, right? I get on here, I start having these conversations, and so I'm on my phone as someone else was talking. I'm sitting here moving my appointments because it's important. Make the time, because whether you believe it or not right now, it is important. The things that you're going to hear over the next couple of days, there's going to be a lot of great wisdom that's being shared. And they always say, what's the difference between a wise man and a smart man? A wise man learns from others' mistakes. A smart man makes the mistakes himself, right? So there's nothing wrong with being wise. Learn from other people who are on here who've gone through the mud, and maybe you could skip having to go through the same mistakes. There's just going to be so much stuff you're going to be giving away.
That's right. Another question: if you could go back to the beginning of your career, what changes would you apply ASAP?
I would have faced my fears faster. You'll see that when you hear my talk, I talk about that. I go more in depth about fear. It's something that crippled me in my first year of my career, and if I could do it all over again, I would have crushed that damn thing way faster and probably been at a different place than where I'm at right now. But it's all a learning. Like I said, that because of that and going through it, I've been able to share that with a lot of agents who've been suffering through the same thing, and I've helped them through it. So I'm glad I went through it because I've been able to help people as a result.
Yep.
Mine is almost controversial because I initially got my start in a captive State Farm organization, and I could easily go back and say if I knew what I know now then, I'd be independent from the get-go. But the thing is, being captive to start, I had the training and the people right there at my beck and call all the time to ask questions, to train with, and it really gave me a foundation, especially with State Farm, for all insurance products. So moving into the independent world, I felt in some ways I had a leg up. I was partially held back in a kind of a hamster wheel job because I wasn't the agency owner, I was just an agent. But at the same time, it prepared me to know what I had to do as an independent agent going forward. So if I took it from my independent career on, I think the thing I would change most is I would connect with people and invest in myself sooner. I didn't start investing in myself and thinking of what I could do besides just selling a policy to the person in the office, but thinking bigger and investing in myself and meeting people and honestly being more well read. That's probably what I would start sooner if you take out my first 4 years, because that, to me, that is almost contradictory, because I don't think I would be as good as I am today without that solid training, even though I would have loved to have started then with what I know now.
But I think what I love about what you're saying is that too often we see captive agents or taking the captive route at first kind of get demonized. And I think that the reality is not everybody is ready to become an independent agent and to be on their own right off the bat. It is difficult, right? You need to have an iron stomach to deal with some of the stuff. And a lot of times going the LOA route or the captive route is a great foundation. And you hit it on the head. Look at you. You're here, you're successful, and you went that route, and you're saying you wouldn't change that.
I mean, to be quite honest, my best year as a captive agent, I made like $27,000. Now I had a really crappy pay schedule on top of it, but then I was able to bring in six figures in the first 45 days. I went as independent. I timed it right. I jumped on right when open enrollment was happening, and I knew what I had to do. And I already, had some relationships built because of that. So in that first open enrollment period, I was able to hit, six figures in premium and sales income as commissions. But it took me 4 years making $25,000 to $27,000 a year to be able to do that.
Yep. I love that. And I think that needs to be talked about more, that it's easy to sell a dream to somebody, but if you're not selling the work ethic necessary to be able to accomplish it, then you're just setting somebody up for failure. So I think that especially in today's age, there are a lot of great LOA shops out there who are going to help you to get a great start in this career, and that'll let you go independent once you're ready. So I think, and I think you can probably make more than 27,000 nowadays with those LOA shops. So yeah, there's a lot of great opportunities out there. Like I said, there's a lot of creative ways to be successful on your route to going independent.
Yeah. PNC is a hard way to get there. They only give you like 1 to 4% commission, and you have to write like 50 autos and 100 homes every month just to get that. So.
Wow.
Guys, if anybody's listening and you're in the PNC world and struggling, yeah, look at health. I'm blowing the money difference.
Look at health.
Health, Medicare, life, anything with the other license.
Well, Cody, Rebecca, I got to bounce, man. Like I said, I got to get to my other appointment. I do apologize. I pushed it because you're so important, Cody, that I wanted to make sure I was here for you.
Bye, Eric. Love
Your
you.
audio went out. Your audio went out. But I get what you're saying. You're saying bye.
I'm muted. I was gonna say I'll leave. You just keep going, and I'll see you tomorrow. But I'm kidding. Thank
But
you.
we'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.
Thanks, Eric. See you, sir.
See ya.
Appreciate you, bro. Miss Rebecca, it's you and me now.
Oh my goodness. I get you 2 days in a row.
How fun is this?
Oh, I know. How much longer are you going with this tonight?
Okay. Okay, sounds good. Love you. My dad's hanging out. He's normally the last one to leave, but I may get him tonight.
Get him on here. Tell him I want to talk to him.
Hey, Rebecca wants to talk to you.
How are you doing?
Hey, Brian.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. Doing very, very well.
Hanging out with Rebecca. We're promoting the 8% virtual the next 2 days.
It'll be good. It'll be really, really good.
That's right. I'm watching some of the comments. Well, Rebecca, you wanted to chat. Maybe you've got a question that people would ask since my dad just jumped on with us for a few minutes.
Well, I know you're a little bit about your dad's story and how he was basically working for an organization before he went independent. While you were doing that, because you're very successful in the previous organization, what was the one thing in your mind that just triggered it for you? Be like, you know what? I'm going to take the leap. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to leave this and just, put it in God's hands and take that leap.
Mine was that question is actually very easy for me, and the reason is that mine was vested renewals for the agents. I had an agent that lived in Little Rock, Arkansas, and his name was Paul. And at 57 years of age, he unfortunately passed away from a massive heart attack, just completely unexpected, perfectly healthy, etc. He had built up about $8,000 worth of monthly renewals through Medicare. And so after that happened, I went to the funeral. A day or two later, his wife calls me and says, "Hey, Brian, how do I continue those? Do I just continue to get those renewals, or how does it work?" And so and that was a tough conversation for me, because we work for a career company, which, once you have, you no longer have once you depart the company, whether it's due to death, disability, regardless of what it is, you lose your renewals. You no longer have those. And so I had to be the one, and I'm quiet on the, I'm just silent on the phone. I'm trying to, how do I tell this? And before I had a chance to speak, she says, "Brian, please don't tell me I don't get those renewals anymore." And so after that day is when the ball started kind of rolling a little bit. And because I always wanted to be in a situation to where I never had to have that conversation again. And when a person built up a huge block of business, and whether they build up $8,000 a month renewals or $80,000 a month renewals, that they own those renewals. They could sell that block of business. They could transfer that block of business to to their son or daughter, whoever, and they wanted to kind of follow them in the business. They could do anything they wanted to with that business. They're vested. If they passed away, obviously somebody could take that business over for them, or they could take that business, or their loved one, whoever they may be beneficiary, would continue to get the balance of 10-year renewals on that business. So that was one of the key things for me.
If that wasn't a light bulb, nothing's going to be a light bulb moment. I mean, that's 8,000. I mean, that's 100,000 a year, and they're used to that, and they go from that to nothing instantly.
Went to zero just overnight,
and no fault of anybody's. I mean, that's about as light bulb epic of a moment you could have. Absolutely, love that.
Yeah. So since when that day happened, I kind of I'd always want to be kind of independent and always want to own my own agency. But when you're making very good money over here, it's kind of hard, but you just got to make the jump. So anyway, I'm truly glad I did. So
We're all truly glad you did.
Yeah, me too. Right.
Cody probably the most, but we all love that you did because we get to learn from you.
Because Cody's someone, he would have been so loyal, he would have stayed with me, even though it would have been his best situation. Even though I would have tried to push him out to spread his wings, he still would have stayed with me. So
T on YouTube says, "Dude, his dad looks so young."
I like this person. So.
Matt said, "Question for Dad: what was the most challenging time or experience that you ever had as an agent?"
Most challenging time, or I'm not sure if I guess probably the most challenging thing is getting in front of people, and I started out in a debit route. I ran a debit route for 7 years, so that's kind of a built-in prospecting system already, and so it's very low comp and very hard work, but it teaches you to ask for referrals, and so now most of my business comes from referrals. But can you think of anything that's really the challenging part?
Well, I mean, having to go collect premiums every single month
yeah.
is pretty freaking challenging.
Because you'd spend about 80% of your time, 90% of your time collecting instead of selling, but you got paid 10% of collections, and back then it was only 40% on sales. So obviously you want to spend more of your time on sales.
Oh wow!
And because literally 90% of your time was spent collecting, and but that was just part of the deal. But I don't know if there was any really challenging times other than just insurance is always fairly easy with me. I've always enjoyed it. It's always been a passion. When something's a true passion, and it's hard to fail in it. So when you love what you do, so
Probably Cody's idea for his first 8%.
that was almost a heart attack. So spending the checks he was writing, and et cetera. That was one that it was difficult there. So
How many times did you have to sit him down in that first one and be like, okay, can we not write a check today? Can we wait 24 hours before we write another check?
Well, Cody's someone that even when he was, even though and some of y'all heard this story, I'll tell it real briefly here. When Cody was a kid, he was, I don't know, Cody, you're what, 12, 13 years of age, something like that. I don't know, maybe 14. So I come home from work one day, and his mom was wanting to kill him, and so I'm like, what do you do today? And so all his sisters was mad at him. His mom was mad at him. And so anyway, and I said, what do you do? And they're like, he sold all of our stuff on eBay. And so anything that he could find around the house, the next thing we know, it'd just be on eBay. It'd be selling on eBay. And so next thing, and so one day I come home, and he'd went and bought a bunch of boxes from UPS and labels and everything else. And I'm like, what is all this? And he's like, Dad, I'm selling on eBay, and that's how I make my money. And so I'm like, okay, what are you selling? And so finally we had to have a rule that, I've got to approve the item before it goes on eBay. So because once you sell your sister's
laptop,
he said, well, she wasn't using it, so I just thought I could sell it. So
It's a good thing Airbnb wasn't a thing then. He'd be putting your bedrooms on there for rent.
The basement out for rent. So that is for sure.
Every time you went on a business trip, he'd have the master suite up for rent.
That is true. It probably would have. Don't give me out. Oh. But just
my gosh.
Yeah, because
Cody.
So, but he he always looking to sell something. So, we would have. The funny thing is, we'd have yard sales from time to time, and so anytime we just put Cody out there, and Cody was he's willing to deal in, and I mean everything at the yard sale would be gone just about, and people didn't even buy something, but he'd figure out a way. They left with that yard sale item. So he made them a price they could not refuse. So.
Oh, that's funny. Please, this is Tell stories about Cody time now.
We'll get the most viewers if we just tattle on Cody for the next, how old are you now? 30? We got 30 years of ammunition.
That's true. You got a lot.
It'll be 31 in July.
Getting old. I'm catching up to you guys. This is what are you most excited for the next 2 days? And then would you say more Brian Tracy, Les Brown?
There's several people on that. I've looked at the list today. They sent it out. There's a lot of people. I tell you what, every time I listen to, other people speak, I learn something. I get some ideas. I get, every time I go, and I'm not saying just to promote Cody in any way. I promise you I'm not. But Cody can vouch for it. When I go to, the masterminds or go to 8% Nation or any of those type of events, I come home and I get our team and you can ask our team. I get our team in the conference room and like, okay, we're going to do this. We got to change this, and we can do better what we're doing. And I'm just all of a sudden, it's just it. But it's a fire that just doesn't go away. I've been doing this for 30. It'll be 31 years come next month, and I'm more excited, work harder than I've ever worked, and I've been doing it for 31 years because I just see the big picture, and the big picture just keeps getting bigger and bigger every day. So. I truly, my big thing is, I've had a great career. I've had, tons of success, and I've surrounded myself with a lot of great people. But my big thing is I want to leave a legacy to my children that, that they'll be proud of. So
It's so funny you say that because when I come back from one of these events, my office staff always looks like me, like I have 3 heads. Because I'm like, all right, team meeting. And they're like, oh God, now what? What are we doing now?
the last time I did, they said, you just must have got back from a trip.
That's true.
No, it's true. I promise you. I come up with so many ideas, and a lot of things we're doing today, just ideas we have, is simply ideas I've gotten from other people. Because I'm not smart enough to come up with a lot of these ideas. So,
name of the game. It's part of it. Brian Tracy or Les Brown?
Oh gosh, I might don't want to drive a BMW or a Mercedes. So
Mercedes, but
that's gosh, I don't know because
you had to pick.
Ooh, I don't want to pick. I truly don't because they're both tremendous. I'm excited about both of them. Both of them on a scale from 1 to 10. Maybe if I had to pick, maybe Les Brown. But boy,
I've heard Les Brown less.
Yeah, about
than Tracy. So
about maybe a 10.0 versus 9.9. So it's not a. I don't mean to dish Brian Tracy because I'm excited about both of them. So.
Yeah. Well, you used to hear me listen to his audiobooks as a
absolutely.
new agent. So it's just interview him. It'll be on Saturday. It's surreal. I mean, really surreal. It's cool.
Because he's a legend, So
yeah, he's unbelievable. He's incredible. He'll be good.
Well, Cody, it's almost 7 o'clock, and I've been really trying to follow something Josh said at the last conference. We always use the word try. We're going to try to do this, try to do that. My family gets so tired of me being up here until God knows how many hours. So before the conference, I was trying to be home by 7, but since the conference, I'm going to be home by 7 before, except for during AEP, I just sleep here then. So, but it's almost 7, and I'm going to hold true to not try and do. And so I'm out of here. It was so fun talking to you guys. I can't wait till tomorrow.
You all, as always. So you're always
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Rebecca. Appreciate you. Okay. See you
Thanks
soon.
for everybody watching. Go to 8% Virtual tomorrow. If you've never been, go. I promise you won't be disappointed.
Thanks, Rebecca. Appreciate you. See you tomorrow. Rebecca's speaking tomorrow, so make sure you show up, guys. Okay, make sure you see her. Okay, thank you so much, Rebecca.
Hey, thank y'all.
We're going to end it as well. Okay, we're still live, but go to 8% Virtual and sign up right now. We'll be going 2 hours and 15 minutes. We went 3 hours a couple days ago. We continue to literally try to find ways to make sure that everyone in the industry knows. Okay, so do me a favor as we wrap up tonight, as you spend time with family, send this to someone. Okay, 8%virtual.com. There's one person in your life that needs to hear the message that we're going to deliver for the next 2 days. So make sure you register and see you soon. Appreciate you guys. And make sure you hear him speak.
Have a great
on Saturday. You're first on Saturday.
Saturday morning.
Okay. Show up. Hear him speak. I can promise you, you will not regret it. Okay.
Have a great day.